Congrats on your admission to ASU. We are so happy that you're joining the Sun Devil family.
In these series of videos, we will walk you through ASU's Code of Conduct.
You might not know this, totally cool if you don't, but the ASU Code of Conduct was created by something called the Arizona Board of Regents to enact a standard set of rules and expectations for all students in the ASU community. After you finish these videos, you should have a complete picture of how to be a fantastic Sun Devil.
Look, college is a freeing and wonderful learning experience, but we're all here to follow the Sun Devil way.
To grow together and to be the campus that we all know and love. We're gonna cover all this stuff in greater detail. For all the facts, make sure you read the supporting text available on the web.
If at any time you feel like these videos bring up bad memories or situations that make you uncomfortable, please contact ASU Counseling for assistance.
It's important to remember the door is always open for students in need of help. You can use the links provided to get the help you need.
You are well on your way to becoming a full-fledged Sun Devil.
Our community is super important to us here at ASU, and it's the Sun Devil way that keeps everyone on the same page.
There are 3 elements to the Sun Devil way: achievement, engagement, and responsibility.
Achievement is the first element. Every student is pressed for success at ASU. You'll be challenged, but with that comes academic success, personal growth, and professional preparation.
Next is engagement. You are not an island at ASU, so get involved in campus life. Engagement also encourages achievement, because with each individual success story, we all succeed.
Lastly, let's talk responsibility. Being responsible means being accountable for your actions. Hold yourself and those around you accountable.
As we dig deeper into the ASU Code of Conduct, we will define what your responsibilities and obligations are as a member of the Sun Devil family.
ASU rules and policies can change from time to time. We are all responsible to keep ourselves informed of the current provisions. Check out this link to access the policy.
To be clear, right, you are responsible for a violation of or even trying to violate other rules and policies that may be adopted in the future by the board or by the university.
Since responsibility informs both engagement and achievement, this video series will primarily address what it means to be a responsible Sun Devil.
The Student Code of Conduct applies to all ASU students.
The code clarifies the behaviors that we value and expect from each other.
None of us want to have a bad experience, so sticking to the code ensures that ASU stays a safe place to live, learn, and succeed.
Now, I know you could read this whole thing,
And you should.
but today we're gonna simplify it so you can get a big picture look at your responsibilities as a Sun Devil.
Number 1, don't cheat. Seriously. It hurts your chances for success, your classmates, and diminishes your degree. Don't do it.
2, don't threaten or harm anyone. Everyone deserves a safe place to learn. Don't be a jerk.
3, if you do decide to break the rules,
And it's a choice.
be prepared to face the consequences.
4, new rules crop up from time to time as well, so be prepared to follow those too.
Number 5, don't use someone else's ID, only yours, every single time.
6, see an emergency? Report it. Don't cry wolf and make false reports.
7, university faculty, security, and staff have your best interests at heart, so respect their directions.
8, for all you computer techies out there, never falsify or hack into any ASU information, ever.
Number 9, don't use ASU property without permission.
10, help keep both ASU and your information safe on campus and online. Abide by all information security rules.
Number 11, don't disrupt ASU activities. That's just rude.
12, never speak on behalf of ASU unless you are authorized to do so.
Number 13, don't steal or take things that aren't yours. I mean, come on, it's a common courtesy.
14, respect ASU equipment and facilities so everyone can enjoy them.
Number 15, ASU is a dry campus, period.
16, the same goes for drugs. Let's keep drugs out of ASU.
17, just because you may be off campus doesn't mean the rules don't apply to you. You can still be held accountable for violating the Code of Conduct.
18, gambling is for casinos, not ASU.
19, hazing is not tolerated either, and in any form. It is considered wrong. Do not tolerate hazing.
20, stalking will also not be tolerated. Frankly, it's creepy, and it is harassment. Don't be a stalker.
Just don't be a stalker. 21, keep ASU harassment-free.
22, if you're involved in any disciplinary process or you are a witness, be truthful and cooperate.
23, Sexual misconduct is not tolerated and includes any unwanted or non-consensual contact.
24. If you have a weapon or dangerous instrument, leave them at home or in a locked hidden compartment of your private vehicle.
25. Spying might look cool in games or movies, but really it is just creepy and not for ASU.
Respect the privacy of others and don't take videos or photos of people without their acknowledgement.
26. Lastly, ASU may have rules, but Arizona has laws, so make sure to follow all local, state, and federal laws.
And if you're found in violation and are expelled, you may not attend any of the state institutions.
The ASU Code of Conduct applies to all students, no matter how many courses you've taken.
So it's kind of a big deal that you know and follow these rules.
All right, now let's talk briefly about student wellness.
While there are other important areas of concern, these will be our focus to start because of their impact on you and the community.
Students with lack of sleep and high levels of stress, along with students who overconsume alcohol or use illegal drugs, have shown in data to have lower grade point averages.
Using and abusing substances and sexual misconduct negatively impacts your success of you and your peers.
In this next section, we'll talk about this even more.
Let's talk about alcohol. Underage drinking and binge drinking can be pretty problematic for personal success and academic success.
They can cause potential health and legal consequences. And those consequences don't just affect you.
Numerous safety issues come up when using alcohol. It can impair your judgment, it can lead to sexual misconduct, hazing, dating violence, assault, alcohol poisoning, other bad behaviors, right?
As a Sun Devil, we expect you to contribute and maintain a safe campus and community.
We depend on students to recognize dangerous situations and to help prevent them, to act responsibly, to be aware and actively intervene. We need you to step up and prevent harm from taking place. ASU, let's be honest, ASU has zero tolerance for underage drinking.
And Arizona has strict laws regarding alcohol use in minors, providing alcohol to minors, driving while intoxicated, and for illegal drug use, including marijuana. Students are expected to follow local, state, and federal laws related to alcohol, marijuana, and other drugs. Disciplinary action will be taken on students whose behavior does not encourage a safe and healthy community.
So imagine for a moment that instead of your friends drinking alcohol, they're actually drinking energy drinks. Your friends like drinking energy drinks when they're old enough, of course.
But when they do, they're not the same person.
They might have too many energy drinks, or they get angry and irritable because they want more.
Maybe they start bullying classmates or pressuring and hazing others to pound energy drinks with them.
Or maybe after having too many, they even start making unwanted advances on your friends. The energy binging starts to affect everyone in their life. Friends, family, romantic partners, and the community as a whole become a victim of their decision. But of course, right, we're not talking about energy drinks. We're talking about alcohol abuse and substance abuse.
Consuming alcohol in excess will show several signs of distress. They may have a strong odor of alcohol coming from them. Their skin may be clammy, unusually pale, or bluish in tone. Their breathing may be irregular or slowed, or they may be unconscious and unresponsive.
Even if your friend doesn't want help, their life is in danger, and you gotta help them. After calling 911, the cool thing is the university will be supportive, regardless if you happen to have engaged in similar behavior.
Alcohol intoxication is very serious, especially when people drink too much too fast, mix alcohol with other substances, or have health conditions that lead to medical emergencies after consuming alcohol.
So here are some tips, right? If we're gonna drink, we gotta do it legally and we gotta do it responsibly. If we choose not to drink alcohol, we'll actually be in good company. 40% of all of the ASU students report that they don't drink. If you're concerned about someone else's drinking or drug use, go ahead and talk to them about it. And if someone is in distress or is totally unresponsive, then call 911. There are a lot of resources available for someone who is struggling with issues around alcohol, which hits a lot of people.
Check out these links for more information.
You may have questions about marijuana and tobacco use on campus.
Recent events have changed policy in many states regarding the use and distribution of marijuana.
However, marijuana is still an illegal drug in Arizona, and ASU is a drug-free campus.
ASU doesn't allow for marijuana use on campus, even for those who have medical marijuana prescriptions.
As with many illegal drugs, studies find that marijuana use can negatively impact college students' academic performance.
According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, short-term effects of marijuana include difficulty with thinking and problem-solving or impaired memory.
And long-term use may actually adversely affect brain development.
In a 2014 survey, most ASU students report that they do not use marijuana.
Only 12% have used one or more times in the past month.
At ASU, we want students to aim for their greatest academic achievements.
So avoiding marijuana and other drugs supports this goal.
ASU became a tobacco-free university as of August 2013.
Students, employees, and visitors are not permitted to use tobacco products of any kind, including hookahs, on ASU property.
Yes, this also includes the parking lots.
While ASU does not have a direct policy regarding e-cigarettes or vape pens, out of courtesy to your fellow students, don't be that guy.
Students found in violation will first receive a warning, but are subject to $50 fines for additional violations.
Multiple violations will result in disciplinary action.
You know that most students don't use tobacco either.
And according to another 2014 survey, only 19.2% of ASU students use one or more forms of tobacco in the past 30 days.
If you know someone who is ready to quit, there are resources for quitting available.
To learn more about ASU's tobacco-free policy or quitting resources, check out this link.
This is a section where we go over some sensitive material. We asked students what they thought sexual misconduct was. They said non-consensual, rape, domestic and dating violence, sexual assault, sexual harassment.
The truth is, all of these things are considered sexual misconduct and they violate our school's code of conduct.
Sexual misconduct is a very serious issue.
ASU takes measures to continuously improve our prevention, response, support, and investigation of sexual misconduct.
If any of this information triggers uncomfortable memories and feelings, it can be helpful to talk to a counselor, trusted friend, or a family member for support.
When you get to campus, ASU has a lot of resources, like ASU counseling that can support you.
You can find all of the resources on the website on your screen.
If you or someone you know needs help, contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline or your local state resource.
Sexual misconduct is defined at ASU as any non-consensual sexual contact or sexual harassment.
So what exactly is consent anyway? Consent must be 4 things: mutual, voluntary, clear, and active. Consent is everything. Mutual means both partners agree to the sexual activity.
Just because your partner agrees to one form of sexual activity doesn't mean they consent to other forms.
Consent is also voluntary. So let's be kind. Your partner's consent must be given without pressure or other influences.
No means no, and yes should be an enthusiastic yes. If they've been drinking alcohol or under the influence of other substances, they can't give their consent.
This brings up the last 2 points. Consent is clear and active.
If your partner is silent, maybe passive or unable to resist, that's not consent.
Just because you used to date doesn't mean there is consent, even if you had a prior sexual relationship.
You also can't buy consent, so purchasing gifts, meals, drinks, or other items for a partner doesn't work.
Just because you had consent with the previous sexual activity doesn't mean you have consent now.
So there you have it. Consent must be mutual, voluntary, clear, and active. Sex without consent is assault.
Sexual misconduct is never tolerated in our community.
In over 70% of sexual assault cases among college students, either the survivor or the perpetrator had been drinking prior to the assault.
85 to 90% of college student survivors of sexual assault know their attacker prior to the event.
Sexual assault can happen to anyone, any gender, any age, sexual orientation, race, socioeconomic status, or religion. It can happen to anyone.
If you or a friend find yourselves in need of support, consider these tips.
Find safety. Call 911 if there's an immediate danger. Assure them that it's not their fault. Encourage them to seek medical attention. Encourage counseling. Consider contacting a member of the Sun Devil Support Network for support and information from your peers.
Remind them too that they have options for reporting incidents of sexual assault.
If you or someone you know has been a victim, you can report to the police, ASU Student Rights and Responsibilities, ASU Equity and Inclusion, and ASU Title IX coordinator.
The full list is available online.
Domestic or dating violence is a pattern of abusive behavior that intimate partners use to gain or maintain power and control over the other partner, using any of the following tactics.
Domestic and dating violence creates complex, emotionally charged situations. Safety is always the #1 priority, especially if you feel the situation is going to become violent.
Whenever possible, walk away from violence. And if a situation begins to escalate toward violence, call 911.
Remember that if someone hurts you, it is not your fault.
They are responsible for controlling their own actions.
Stalking is another form of harassment. Stalking doesn't always have to be in person either. Repeated, unwanted, intrusive phone calls, emails or other communications, following or lying in wait for the person, making direct or indirect threats toward the survivor or their family, harassing the person online, or spreading rumors, these can all be considered stalking.
If you suspect you are being stalked, notify someone of authority,
such as ASU staff or the police.
ASU also has an anonymous reporting line that can be reached at the number on your screen.
More information can always be found at the following links.
Coming to a new environment can be both exciting and a little scary. You're gonna have an amazing experience at ASU, but the transition can sometimes feel a little overwhelming. So if that's what you're feeling as you get adjusted to your life at ASU, you are not alone.
That's right. 81% of ASU students surveyed felt overwhelmed by all they had to do in the past 12 months.
You may also find yourself feeling lonely, even when there are lots of people around and tons of activities to do.
In fact, 53% of ASU students surveyed felt very lonely during the past 12 months.
Feeling overwhelmed or lonely affects all students at some point, but it can really be felt when you're new to an environment and adjusting to being away from home, even if home isn't that far away.
It's natural in a new environment to compare yourself to others, and sometimes it may feel like you're the only one feeling some of these emotions. But it's important to remember that people tend to make public their most positive self and hide their most negative self.
For example, everyone looks happy on Instagram. So if you compare your private thoughts of stress, struggle, or confusion to what's on your feed, then it may seem like you're having a different experience than everyone else. But like we said, in reality, nearly everyone has stress and positive experiences. They just tend to keep that stress private.
There are lots of ways you can get help at ASU and in the community if you're having trouble managing your stress or your emotions. For starters, you can talk to a friend.
Another way you can get help managing stress and emotions is asking a family member for help.
I'm just so overwhelmed and I just have so many thoughts. Talking to an advisor in your college is another great way to manage stress.
All right, let me just pull up your file here and we are gonna get you all registered for next semester.
Good.
You don't seem too excited about that.
My family's gonna be happy that I'm graduating.
Are you gonna be happy about it?
Whatever.
I understand that there's a difference sometimes between what your family wants and what you want. Sometimes talking to somebody about what's going on just is a great opportunity for you to get things off your chest, get you in a better place.
Who can I talk to?
We got some excellent people right down the hall, down at counseling.
Okay.
Finally, set up a meeting to talk to a counselor. They can really help.
It's a little hard to explain. It all started about 3 weeks ago.
You might have a sense that your friend is struggling, but if you ask, how's it going? They'll probably do what we all do and say,
Everything's great.
It sometimes takes asking a few follow-up questions or telling them you're concerned.
It's not always easy, and you might not know what to say, but help is always there for you. Start by telling someone that you have a concern. Be specific and take the risk.
Our community is built around an ethic of care. Anyone you ask for help is going to give you help. They might not know every answer, but they can help get you the support you need. If you or someone you know is having a difficult time, if you're feeling sad, anxious, angry, or lonely, there is help available.
Pick a friend, pick a family member, pick an advisor or counselor. Just pick someone to help.
Nice. We don't really love this kind of behavior. Also, number 3 is wrong.
Trusted you.
The temptation might be there, but cheating, otherwise compromising your academic integrity, just isn't worth it. Learning, scholarship, those things require everyone to engage in ways that are honest and have integrity. So it's
important to understand ASU's academic integrity policy and the student code of conduct.
Violations of integrity include
Cheating on a test or an assignment,
plagiarizing,
academic deceit like fabricating data or information,
aiding others in violating academic integrity and inappropriately collaborating,
and falsifying academic records. I mean, most of this stuff seems like common sense, right? Don't cheat.
Don't cheat. Sounds easy enough.
But students that typically do cheat end up doing it because they're struggling with their classes or are just really stressed out.
It doesn't have to be that way.
You can seek out tutors. Ask your professors or your advisors for academic help.
Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
And if you aren't sure that something is considered cheating, ask your professor, TAs, and academic advisors.
Cheating really only cheats yourself out of the opportunity to learn something.
To avoid academic integrity issues, be informed, ask questions, seek tutoring, stay healthy, and simply don't cheat.
You can manage stress, and ASU is committed to providing health and wellness resources.
The next section will cover other techniques to managing stress.
Stress. It can be challenging. You can be sure that at some point in school, you will be confronted with varying levels of stress.
It's important to know that stress is not bad. Stress overload is bad.
There are many indicators of stress overload.
Having trouble focusing or concentrating, increased anxiety, frustration, moodiness or change in temperament, general irritability, feeling overwhelmed and out of control, feeling restless or tired, and a drastic change in behavior. The key to success is really just have healthy ways of coping with stress and avoiding overload.
Oh, slow down. Take a deep breath.
Thanks.
Good.
There's many good habits you can do to keep stress to a minimum.
Get enough sleep. Most college students get 6 hours of sleep or less, but research suggests adults need 8 hours to optimally function. So get as many Z's as you can.
Exercise regularly. Check out a class at Sun Devil Fitness. Consistent exercise at least 3 times a week is one of the most powerful ways to reduce the impact of stress. It improves your mood, increases your energy levels, and keeps you healthy.
Ask for help early and often. Use tutoring. Students who ask for help regularly have significantly higher levels of achievement than students that try to solve problems by themselves.
Learn how to manage your time, so go to class. Managing your time will give you that competitive edge, and you'll know how to keep the balance in your life.
Unhealthy coping actually makes it more difficult to succeed.
Staying up late studying right before an exam will reduce your performance.
And with cramming, you actually retain less information.
Use of caffeine or other stimulants to stay awake or focus may keep you physiologically awake, but you're less alert, and retention of information is reduced.
Of course, the use of alcohol or drugs may provide some short-term symptom relief, but that can create significant health, social, and legal issues that interfere with your life.
So the gist of all this is to basically start now with good, healthy habits to reduce and manage stress.
Get help early to reduce overload, and help others by noticing unhealthy coping methods.
Share your concerns with them. Refer them to programs and services that can help. Here are just a few: ASU Counseling, ASU Wellness, the Sun Devil Fitness Complex, and ASU Health Services.
When you learn how to manage stress, you'll be extremely effective as a student, and you'll have set yourself up for success in the future.
College is a fun and exciting time, and we want everyone to have the best experience possible. So we all need to work together to look out for ourselves and each other. Here are a few simple ways that you can practice safe habits while on campus and in the surrounding community.
Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Look up from your phone, turn the music down, and pay attention to what's going on around you. See something potentially dangerous? Tell someone. It could be anything from a light that's out to a tense situation between fellow students. Call campus police or contact the police using the Live Safe app.
Walk with friends or use the safety escort service. Going out with friends gives you the opportunity to look out for one another. Safety escort is available through the Live Safe app or by calling the number on your screen.
Stay informed and know emergency resources. In an emergency, you should contact 911. Sign up for ASU alerts to stay informed on any urgent situations on campus. Download the Live Safe app to be connected to police, request a safety escort, or report anything to the police anonymously.
Don't assume it's safe to leave your laptop in the library when you step away for a moment, or leave your bike up against a wall while you run into the store. Crimes of opportunity happen every day on college campuses. Always lock up your belongings or take them with you, even if it's just for a minute.
Being part of a community means looking out for one another and stepping up when someone needs assistance. So get to know your neighbors. The better you know your neighbors, the more likely you are to recognize when a potentially dangerous situation is taking place, so you can call for help.
Be selective with what you share online. Don't advertise that you won't be home for extended periods of time, and avoid checking in on social media. Disable geotagging on your cell phone to prevent pictures being automatically tagged with your location.
In addition to thinking about what information you share online, for safety purposes, it's important to think about the larger implications of social media and technology in general. The messages that we share on social media can have a powerful impact on our lives and the lives of others.
It's important to remember that in all types of communication, we follow the Code of Conduct and the Sun Devil Way. Our university is part of a diverse global community that includes people of all backgrounds. Part of your educational experience is to try to understand people different than yourself and to have respect and empathy for them as fellow human beings. This need for respect and empathy extends to the way we communicate, especially on social media.
The university is also where you will begin to build your public and professional reputation. The way you communicate and conduct yourself on social media can have a lasting impact, positive or negative, on your social, academic, and professional life. You should always think through the consequences of the messages that you post. This stuff never goes away.
You will hear much more about this subject throughout your time at ASU, but here are a few simple guidelines to consider right now.
Take your time. Think things through. Impulsively posting messages is never a good idea. Think about the possible impact of what you're going to post.
Think about the effect on others. In everything we do, including our communication, we should consider how our actions will impact others, including ourselves, our family members, our colleagues, and members of our community. Social media can really build people up or tear them down. How would you feel if the things you posted were said about you?
Remember, privacy is elusive, and in electronic media, it's never guaranteed. Consider the consequences if your private messages were revealed to the public.
Be careful when you are not at your best. If your capacity to make good decisions is impaired in any way by alcohol, stress, or emotional strain, be very careful with social media. Seek help and support from trusted sources before posting something you might regret. On the other hand, do not feel bad about asking for help and support through social media.
Think about your future. Social media can be both a help and a hindrance in advancing your career. Many potential employers will look you up online and review your social media accounts before making a hiring decision. Think about the impression your digital footprint will make on them.
Sometimes you may regret something that you posted and have to deal with the consequences. There are people here at ASU that can help you deal with these issues. Reach out to a trusted teacher, advisor, or counselor for help and advice.
Whether it's safety in the community or safety online, your well-being is important to us. While it's not always possible to prevent harm, practicing safe habits both online and in person contributes to our community of care.
Step up and do your part. Our community expects that you will step up and help others in need.
It's the Sun Devil Way.
This will create a powerful network of students who watch out for each other
and show concern for each other's well-being.
Whether it's something like opening a door,
or saying something when someone makes a disrespectful joke,
or when it's something more intense,
like intervening when someone is in danger.
The more of us that take action, the safer and more caring the community.
As a Sun Devil, pay attention.
Be vigilant and identify when a friend is in an abusive relationship.
Or if you suspect someone needs your help.
Call 911 during an emergency.
Or connect to ASU Police by downloading the Live Safe app for your phone.
You can do your part by noticing what's happening around you.
Can you help, or should you go find help?
Remember to evaluate the risks.
Is it safe for you to help, or is it an emergency?
Decide what you will do.
Call 911 or intervene.
Make sure to always ask others for help.
Do your part.
When you help your fellow Sun Devils, everyone benefits.
Welcome to ASU in the Sun Devil way,
We are very excited that you are becoming part of our Sun Devil family.
and want to ensure your success at the university and in life.
Within every community, there is a behavior code defined by that community's expectations and values.
The ASU Student Code of Conduct and policies addressed express much of what is expected for all members of the ASU student community.
Throughout this program, we have shown you many resources available to learn more about ASU's expectations of our community.
You can find additional support, information, and education on all these topics at the following links.
This list of available resources can be found on the Resources tab in Blackboard.